Okay, good morning, everyone. Today I want to talk about grades with you because I got a lot of messages from you guys like over the last several days about grades and about concerns about your grades on Edgenuity. So I want to address some of those concerns today. Excuse me. Mm. Um, a main concern that many of you have is if you get like a low percentage on an activity in Edgenuity. And a lot of you are concerned about the Unit 1 test. And if you got like, say, a 60% on it, it brought your grade on Edgenuity from like 95 to 64. Okay, let's keep that example. 95 to 64, like that grade drop. Oh, sorry, let me exit out of this. Okay, so basically, I don't think I've done an effective enough job explaining how grades work in AP World. So I'm just gonna explain this super slowly, and then I'm gonna go ahead and hop off. One, because I don't want to take up too much of your time, and two, I still have like 50 or so practice SAQs left to grade, and I want to make sure I get to those. But anyway, so let's talk about the exam for a second, the AP World exam. We know the scores that you can get. The highest score you can get on the AP World exam is a 5, right? Followed by a 4, followed by a 3, followed by a 2, followed by a 1. In order to pass the AP World exam, you need to score a 3. A 3 is a passing score. Now, I know many of you already know this, but bear with me. So the first section on the AP World exam is the multiple choice section. 55 questions, you get 55 minutes to do it. Now, in order to pass the multiple choice section, you need to get approximately 50% of those questions correct. So in other words, if you get like 50% on the multiple choice section of the AP World exam, then that qualifies as enough to get you to pass that section. And then let's say you get 50% of the points on the SAQs, and then like 55% of the points on the LEQ, and then 50% of the points on the DBQ, then that qualifies as a 3 on the test. So here's my logic. If a 50% is passing on the WHAP exam, 50% should be passing on class activities. So let's say that you got a 50% on the Unit 1 test. That is a C. It is not an F. I really need you guys to understand that, okay? I want you to like burn this into your minds. If you got a 50% on the Unit 1 test, that is a C. That is not an F. Let's say, hypothetically, after the Unit 1 test, your grade dropped from that 95 to a 64. A 64% in my class is not a D. A 64% in my class is a B. And that's because I have my grades completely aligned with College Board. Your grade at any given point is meant to tell you where you are in terms of preparing for the AP World exam. So let's say, hypothetically, you have a C in my class at the end of the semester. Like semester 1, you got a C, you're good to go. Don't harp on the grade too much, because that means if you got a C at the end of the semester, that means that you are lined up to get a 3 on the exam. If you get a B by the end of the semester, that means that you're very likely going to get a 4 on the exam. And then, of course, if you have an A in the class, which not a lot of people do by the end of the semester, but if you do, if you have an A at the end of the semester, then that means you can anticipate to get a 5 on the AP World exam. So that's why I have my grades structured that way. So if your grade in Edgenuity dropped down to like, say, a 64%, don't panic. First of all, that's still a B. Second of all, remember, Edgenuity is only worth 30% of your overall grade. That's it. The rest of your grade comes from practice essays, test essays, participation, and the final. Now, I know all of your grades still say A+, which that's most likely going to change as of Monday because I'm going to have grades completely updated. The only thing that will not be in your grade on Monday is the SAQ test that you'll take tomorrow, because I'm going to need some time to grade those. Those of you who have gotten your feedback back for the practice SAQ, you guys know that I practically leave novels of feedback, and that's to help you like get better over time. But that it takes some time to do. So that's the only thing that will not be in your grade as of Monday. But when you see your new percentage in the class, don't panic. If you drop, like if your overall grade from everything drops from a 95 to a 64%, you're still good. You still have a B. And that's meant, one, to help you grade wise, and two, to help you gauge where you are as far as your preparation for the AP World Test goes. So I want to ask right now, those of you who are on live with me, if you have any questions regarding grades, pop them in the live chat for me. Or actually, here, let's do this. If you, oh, your textbooks. I called yesterday. I left a message, still no word. I'm going to try calling again today. At this point, Nicole, I think a good idea would be to like rally up as many of, you know, your friends and their parents as possible, and have their parents call the district and ask, and like be nice about it, but just kind of, you know, the more parents that ask, the more the ball gets rolling. So unfortunately, I haven't heard anything back yet, but I'm staying on them. Good question. If you guys like thoroughly understand everything I just explained about grades, could you just, oh, and the notes that we're supposed to go along. I'm not collecting notes anymore, Nicole. I actually posted that information earlier in the week. Notes are meant for you. Notes are meant as a tool to help you prepare for an assessment on Edgenuity, an assessment for me, and of course the overall AP test. But it was becoming a very convoluted process to collect all those notes digitally from everybody. It was kind of a hot mess. Like files wouldn't open. It was just too stressful. And not to mention, at the college level, professors do not collect notes. Yes, they assign daily homework. They have like pages and stuff like that, but or study guides, like things like that. But they're not going to assign notes and count them as a grade. None of that work is counted at the college level. So I figured I might as well streamline my class and have it work that way too. But you still need to take notes, because notes are a key component of being successful in any AP class. So make sure you're still taking them. Study guides, websites to help us prepare for tests. I actually already posted a study guide for tomorrow's SAQ test. It's on Google Classroom, Lana. So make sure you check that out. I will post a study guide for every test we take. That way you can kind of narrow down the information that you study. Lana, also to piggyback off your question, as far as websites that help you prepare for the test, on the study guide that I posted, I added a link to a great YouTube video that I think will effectively prepare you for tomorrow's SAQ test. So Lana, I hope that answers your question. All right, are there any other questions pertaining to grades? I really want to make sure that you guys understand that like 50% is a C, 60% is a B, 90% is an A, 75%, actually no, probably like 77, 78% is like an A minus. So just, sorry, my cats are like screaming, but don't freak out about your percentages. Make sure that you check to see what your actual grade is. All of that is posted on the syllabus too. So if you're ever wondering like, oh, I have a 71%, what's my grade? Just go on the syllabus and it'll tell you right there. Or just text me and I'll let you know. Study guides for unit tests. I could do that. But I think honestly, like Edgenuity kind of like, well, I don't know. I've been hearing mixed reviews on the unit tests, that like some of the information like wasn't even covered in Edgenuity lectures, things like that. And I know that it's so frustrating. And I need you guys to also know that I unfortunately don't have any control over the questions that are included on those tests. And again, I can't modify them, because if I modify anything, then that could jeopardize our credibility, essentially, and we could get audited by College Board, and it could affect our ability to take the exam. So it's just something I'm not trying to mess with. But Lana, what I will do for the next unit test is I'll go into it, and because I, like a goof, I automatically assumed that the unit tests would reflect what you've learned on Edgenuity. And if that's not the case, then I'll make sure I go through it and make like just a short study guide for you guys to kind of help you narrow it down. And I think that would be a win-win. It'll help you with your scores on the unit tests, and it'll also, further help you prepare for the AP exam. So it's a win-win. So yeah, Lana, I think I can do that in the future for sure. As far as retakes for the unit tests, it's my understanding that if you don't pass it with the 50%, you're welcome, Lana. If you don't pass it with a 50%, then it won't let you move on. And if that's the case, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to reset those tests for the students that don't pass it with a 50%, but I'm not going to make it so like, oh, you could get a 95% and get an A. I'll bump up, that part of your grade, certainly, but it'll be bumped up to the point where it's like 1 grade letter and not like 4 grade letters. Like if you originally like failed it, and then you retake it and get an A, that isn't altogether fair to the students who scored really well to begin with. So yes, I will bump up your grade a little bit after the retake if you didn't pass it the first time, but I'm not going to bump it all the way up to an A, if that makes sense. So just keep that in mind. Trying to think of anything else. Are there any other questions pertaining to grades? I want to make sure, or any other questions in general, but especially grades. No? All right, so if you guys are good, oh, we do have one. I'm not sure if this is a relevant question, but on Edgenuity, you're going to input the teacher input. Yes. So as far as like the written assignments and the projects and stuff like that, what I need you guys to understand about Edgenuity is, again, it's only 30% of our course. And really, I'm treating it like classwork and homework, right? Classwork, I would usually have that set to be 15% of your grade, and then homework another 15% in a standard class. So I decided to treat Edgenuity the same way. That's why it's worth 30%, 15, 15, 30. And the reason I'm doing that is because I don't want like Edgenuity completely dictating everything, especially when I have all of these instructional strategies that I can give to you guys and to help you prepare and to help you do well on the test. So the point I'm trying to get to is that when I do enter grades for the online assignments for Edgenuity, I'm basically going to make sure that it's been completed, that you've done the best you can on it. And then as long as you've done those two things, then you're basically going to get credit for those assignments. Now, the multiple choice activities on Edgenuity will count against your grade. But as far as like the written assignments, as long as you do your best, you're going to get credit for them. That's essentially how I would treat classwork and homework as well. So essentially, Edgenuity is like your online workbook. It's your online practice book. It's an online textbook that talks to you that's going to help you prepare for the test, but it is not your entire grade. So I want you to keep that in mind. Like, do your assignments on Edgenuity to the best of your ability, but it is not an end all. And I think the way that I have the grade book and I have the class set up is the fairest way that I can do it. And it's the most equitable way to ensure that everybody's learning what they really need to learn for the test. So long story short, in order to answer your question, yes, those assignments will be inputted soon, but they will not harm your grade all that much, like if you don't do that well on them. Now, some of you may have the question, well, Ms. Bolton, I did this practice SAQ on Edgenuity, and I actually really would like some feedback for it. Like, I think I did a good job. Can you let me know? Can you read it over for me? Sure. Yeah, absolutely. If you let me know, like, what assignment that you want me to take a look at, then I'm more than happy to do that. But I'm not going to, like, for every single assignment on Edgenuity, go in and grade every single, essay and then leave feedback for every single one. I'm going to reserve feedback for the stuff that I post to Google Classroom. So, and I think that'll kind of be more effective because I can kind of use more of my own style and my own questions and everything that I have in order to gauge how you're doing, which I'm personally more comfortable with. If there are no other questions, though, I'm going to hop off so that I can finish up grading here. And then you guys need to get to work. And I hope all of you have a fabulous weekend. Sorry for not going live yesterday. I just want to make sure that I wanted to make sure that I had time to really grade those SAQs before the test. I feel like I don't really know Unit 1 that well, and they didn't really teach it all in detail. I know Edgenuity is really like, it's super fast paced. It's actually faster than I would prefer to teach it, to teach the material. But I have it set, sorry. I have it set on Edgenuity that the semester ends on, I believe, December 11th. So it's like a week before finals. So it's really, the way it's paced out does make sense. But unfortunately, it's much faster than I would prefer to go. So as far as Unit 1 goes, I would refer to the Thunderbolt video that I posted, the first one, the hour-long one with all of that information, because it has like kind of like a more nicely summed up version of what you need to know for Unit 1. So if you're looking for like more of a summary of what you need to know for Unit 1, I would definitely watch that video that I posted for you. If you're feeling lost and overwhelmed, I think it's because a lot of the information that you're learning is getting sort of lost in translation because you're learning it digitally. And it's your first college level class, and it is so much material. AP World is infamous for being the most difficult AP history class. It is a tough class, and it's a tough class to begin with if you're learning it in person, but it's even tougher if you're learning it digitally, and it's really, really frustrating. And I want you guys to know that I empathize with your frustrations, and I wish there was more that I could do on my end instructionally, because like as virtual teachers, we've been told like we can use supplementary information on Google Classroom. We can help you guys along. We can post videos, things like that. But I can't like require and inundate you guys with so much extra stuff outside of Edgenuity. I feel like if I do, I feel like it's almost going to be more detrimental as opposed to beneficial. I feel like the more I post on Google Classroom, the more anxiety that you guys get. So maybe that's something that you guys can kind of help me gauge. Like, well, is the stuff I'm posting to Google Classroom helpful? Is it helping you? And I want to try my best to really come up with strategies that are going to help you. And I'm going to try and streamline that process over the weekend too. There's so much information. I feel like they're not covering. Yeah. And I'm not sure which information I really am supposed to know. Actually, Nicole, I'm going to respectfully and professionally disagree. The stuff they are covering on Edgenuity is the stuff that you need to know. If it seems like it's, sorry, I'm a water fanatic. If it seems like they're not covering enough information, it's actually not the case. There are, and I'm going to post these to Google Classroom probably later today. It's not an assignment, but I want you guys to look at the key concepts for AP World, and I'm going to post them. They're going to come straight from College Board, and they're going to tell you what from each concept that you need to know. So if it seems like they're not covering as much as they should about a given topic, it's because it's probably that the information that you want is probably outside the realm of the key concepts. And what they're attempting to do is they're really attempting to only include information that comes from those key concepts. If it's outside of it, it's deemed unnecessary information, and it would ultimately overload you. Now, if there's ever any like more information that you want on a certain topic, you can hit me up. I can refer you to websites. I can, we can even talk about it one-on-one. So that's an option. But as far as As far as the information covered on Edgenuity, I do think that it's streamlined well, but I don't know how well that it's explained. And that's what's frustrating for me is that I I'm so new to like making videos and doing all of that stuff that it takes me a while to make one video to even catch up with what they're doing on Edgenuity, and it's so frustrating. And I want you guys to know, and I know that it doesn't mean much, but I'm frustrated right along with you. And I just wish that virtually, I wish we had the same schedule as traditional students, where and without Edgenuity, I wish it was just like block schedule every day, like Monday 135, Tuesday 246, where you actually meet with your teacher and your teacher teaches you and gives you your assignments and whatnot. Unfortunately, that's not the case. So we just kind of have to do our best and make do with what we have for the time being. When am I posting the SAQ? The SAQ will be posted tomorrow, probably around 12, 1 o'clock, and then you'll have 12 hours to complete it. So you'll have until 11:59 tomorrow night to complete it. Since there was a picture of a paper with Arabic writing on it with a question of like how would this be used for medicine development? You know, I'll take a look at that one. Actually, one space lowercase, I'm not sure what your actual name is, but hit me up on Remind. Take a picture of what you're talking about and send it to me so that I can help you and walk you through it. Nicole, it says, you said, we don't know, or we don't need to know unit 0, right, before 1200. I would. You don't need to know like everything, but I would know the basics just because it'll help you place the rest of the information in the class into context. And if you can reference that information in an essay, that'll put you above and beyond where like other students are that don't reference it. So it's still valuable knowledge to know. And again, it's good for context. Let's see. Oh, 12 hours to complete the SAQ tomorrow. Yeah. So I'm going to post it probably around 11 or 12 tomorrow. And then you'll have until midnight tomorrow night to complete it. And it's going to be like the practice SAQ. It's not going to be 9 responses. It's only going to be 3. So you'll have one question with parts A, B, and C, just like the practice SAQ. And I'm doing that because I don't want to overwhelm you for your first SAQ assessment. I want it to be a fair assessment. And it is going to be out of 50. Normally it'll be out of 100, the SAQ tests. But since it is your first assessment, I do kind of want to give you more of that wiggle room, that chance to really do well. For SAQ, LEQ, and DBQ tests that are posted to Google Classroom, I will allow you to make corrections on them. So let's say you turn it in, you don't get that good of a score, you can turn around and redo it and get some of those points back. So for any essay test posted to Google Classroom, I will definitely allow that. Let's see. Do any of you know how to disable your microphone on Edgenuity? I disabled mine and don't know how to do it. How to enable it. I actually don't know how to do that, Flops, but I can check on that as soon as the live video is over, for sure. Okay, let me make sure that I posted everyone's information. You know what? I think I have an idea of something. And Nicole, this is actually kind of pertains back to what you had asked about being inundated with information. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make not a video, but I'm going to make like a slides presentation that consists of information that you need to know for each unit. And it won't be some like 100 slide presentation. I'll try to keep it relatively short. So that way you kind of have like a quick go-to Google Slides presentation that'll give you that information you need. Nicole, I think that may be something that will help as far as like streamlining and knowing what information you actually need. Let's see, or the one that said, how is this photo showing Confucianism? Okay, so for a lot of those images, you have to like really, really look. And again, I'm in the middle. I'm almost done actually with the video that's going to teach you guys how to break down documents and stuff. But you really need to look like at individual aspects of those images that might demonstrate the concept. So for example, Confucianism really is about like kind of mutual respect and like respecting your elders, especially your male elders. It's very much a patriarchal system. So it's kind of like you might see an image of a young boy doing something for his father, and it'll say, well, how does this show Confucianism? Well, you could talk about how one of the tenets of Confucianism is showing deference to your elders, showing respect for your elders. And in this image, this young boy is showing respect to his father. This is just an example. I'm not saying that this was on Edgenuity. I was just throwing it out there. But you have to pick apart those individual, like little components of images and then talk about how those little individual components demonstrate the concept. And I can actually throw an example of that in another practice SAQ. Nicole, yeah, essentially showing deference to your elders, showing deference, like respect and to one another, and having that kind of like mutual reciprocity. That's really kind of the bread and butter of Confucianism for sure. Let's see. Hi, Reggie. I'm assuming that's your name, Reginald General Knutson. All right. Is the exam going to be entirely online? That I don't know. It was this past year, but I don't know what College Board is doing with that. From what I'm reading, for what I'm reading as far as the AP World exam goes, like from other teachers, it sounds like College Board probably won't do a modified test again. It's probably going to be the full test where you have 55 multiple choice questions, SAQs, LEQs, and a DBQ. So you're going to have all that. But I don't know if it's going to be online. I don't know if schools are going to be open by May. I don't know how these AP exams are going to take place. If I had to make an educated guess, I would safely assume they're all going to be online. That's my safe assumption. But again, I could be wrong because things could change a lot between now and May. And it's impossible to really give you a definitive answer on that. But I'm going to assume that it's online. Let's see. Why do they only give you 1 minute for every multiple choice question on that end of your test? It doesn't work that fast. Dianara, that's a great question. I really do think that you should get more time on those questions, especially since most of them are stimulus-based. All of them actually are stimulus-based, where you have to read and analyze a passage first and then answer the questions. But it's meant to be a very stringent process because, again, this is meant to be a college preparatory class. It's meant to be a college course. So the expectation is far higher than that of your standard world history course. Like if you were taking regular world, and you had a 55 question test, you might have a couple hours to do it. But again, since this is a college level course, I think I know that that's why they require you to analyze information in such a short space of time. And that's a life skill too. You have to really know throughout your life how to break down the information that's given to you and how to effectively analyze it and break it down and extrapolate information quickly so that you can make adult decisions. And this is a life skill that's used in many different aspects of life. And I really think that, I don't know, I might be getting a little too deep here, but to me, that's why that they're so tough on you with the time constraints that we're given. Let's see. I can't view my wrong answers on the unit test, so that was kind of pointless. I was actually trying to go into the unit test myself to look at individual students' wrong answers, and I haven't yet found an avenue of doing that. Edgenuity is not user-friendly. You guys probably already know that, but as far as on my end, on the administrative and teacher end, it is not a user-friendly system. But I will continue to look and see if I can access those wrong answers from Edgenuity so you guys can have them. I wish we had seen the documents we had to analyze in the unit test earlier, like the majority of them. And so that actually, I'm going to defend Edgenuity on that one space because of the fact that when we get to the AP exam, you will very likely have never seen the documents that they're going to give you before. They're not going to tell you what they are beforehand. So I know it sucks, but it's good practice to not have exposure to the passages that are on the test, because we really want to prepare ourselves for the fact that on exam day, you will very likely never have seen those documents before. So just keep that in mind, that in that sense, they're trying to prep you. Dianara, I feel like I'm not learning anything on Edgenuity. Yeah, I know. And then Talking Rice, you said the same thing, that you're not really taking in a whole lot. I think, and this is something, I want you guys to watch a video. Sorry, this is so random, but when our live session's over, I want you guys to look up, what's her name? Oh, just look up on YouTube, Every Child Needs a Champion. It's this amazing teacher who, unfortunately, she's since passed away, but she talks about how everything in education, it's all rooted in human relationships, that all learning comes from human relationships, and that it is very difficult, near impossible, to learn something if you do not have an established relationship with that person. And by relationship, I don't mean weird, like romantic relationship. I mean having that connection with somebody where you feel that you know that person, and that person really cares about you, and that person thinks you're special and is capable of doing anything. I'm, of course, that person. I feel such a connection with all of you, but I think for a lot of you, excuse me, I think for a lot of you, it's really difficult, sorry, Ice, to learn anything on Edgenuity because you don't feel a personal connection with those Edgenuity instructors. And that, guys, that's what's killing me the most this year, is that I feel powerless in that sense. Like, I mean, in that sense of not being able to control establishing those relationships, because I can establish a relationship with you guys, of course, but there's no way that I can force a relationship between you and an online instructor that you've never met. And that's really frustrating. And I'm pretty sure that I can definitively say that you guys have a hard time learning from people that you don't like. I think I can definitively say that. Not only that, you have a hard time learning from somebody you don't know at all. And I think that's why a lot of you are struggling with learning on Edgenuity, on top of the fact that, there's all of this new information that you've never seen before, all of these new skills that you've never had to use before. It's really frustrating. And not having those relationships makes it 20 million times worse. I really think that there's a lot to be said for online learning, but I think that we also have a long way to go as educators ourselves in learning how to transmit that personal connection through a screen. And it's tough. It's really hard. Not hard for me, actually. I'm having fun, and I love you guys already. You guys are awesome. But I mean, like, for those Edgenuity instructors, they don't know who you are. They don't know your names. They don't see a roster. They're literally just talking to a screen, and that's it. They're not interacting with you guys on a daily basis. They're not getting to know you. They're not sending you cat pictures and funny memes or telling you about their lives. Like, you won't know that stuff about them. I think that's why it's so hard to learn from them. And from the bottom of my heart, like, I mean, I have nothing to apologize for because I didn't do it, but I'm really sorry that this is the situation this year. And it's not fair to you guys. You guys have had a lot ripped away from you because of COVID-19, and it really sucks. But I want you to know that on my end, I'm going to continue doing my absolute best to provide the best instruction I possibly can with the circumstances that we've been given. Let's see. I want to make sure that I'm answering all the questions. Oh, when am I posting the next Thunderbolt video? Probably by Monday. I know that I've been a little bit behind. I would have had it posted sooner, but I've been focusing more on grading the practice SAQs this week as opposed to making the video, but it will be posted soon, and I'll have that up, and it'll teach you how to analyze documents. And I think that'll make SAQs and multiple choice questions easier. Okay. How do teachers remember people's names so well? I've heard that that's a skill that kind of goes away as teachers get older, but I had a lot of teachers who were like in their 50s and 60s who knew my name after the first day. It was pretty awesome. I think we learn names so well because we care. Names are everything. Names are who you are. And it's for me, what I always do in the classroom, I can't do this online. I think it's really hard. But in the classroom, I force myself to have every student's name memorized by the beginning of the second week. And I let my kids test me. I have to go around the room and say everybody's name. And if I get it wrong, then everybody in the room gets a couple points of extra credit. So I like to do that in the classroom, and it really helps me hone down and learn every student's name. That's important to me. But oh, Nicole, you said your teacher in 7th grade said he was going to forget all of your names. That's so sad. See, that's why, I don't know. A lot of teachers, as they get more seasoned and they become veterans, and some of them that are near retirement, they're like, they might check out and not learn them as well. But me, I learned them. I learned every name. Oh, are we still having issues with the mic? You know what? I'm gonna actually end right now. I'm gonna end the live video and I'm gonna hop on Ingenuity Flops and I'm gonna see if I can help you with that. Hit me up on remind me who you actually are, so that way I can kind of go into your account and see what's going on. So let's do that. Have a fantastic rest of your week, everyone. I love you lots. You guys are amazing. I know we're frustrated right now, but this will get better. We will find more avenues to streamline information and to learn what we need to know for the AP exam. So have a great weekend. You guys are awesome. See you later.